This story is a story that's found in all kinds of different cultures, the lady in white. But it varies from place to place. And David, who just dropped that book, just published that book, he found some folks who had a story about a lady seen on Proctor Valley Road. And so this was quite a ways back. Probably around, oh my goodness, the dark ages of 1970 or so, yeah. And Jerry was driving along in his truck along Proctor Valley Road, and it was just getting to that time when the sunset was that really deep, beautiful orange, and the silhouettes of the trees and the hills up ahead looked just perfect, like someone had painted them on that sunset. And Jerry, well, he was not enjoying that at all. He was driving along thinking, here I am in my rented tux on the way to the Chula Vista High School prom. And I saved my money and bought this truck in the hopes that it would convince Jackie Wilkie to say yes to coming to the prom with me. And, you know, he'd worked so hard and he bought the truck and he thought his dreams had come true because Jackie Wilkie, the girl that he had had a crush on since 6th grade, agreed to go to the senior high school prom with him. But then the next day, she called him up and said, well, Jerry, we're just going as friends, right? I think maybe you shouldn't even come by and pick me up. I'll meet you with the girls there at the dance. And what could he say, right? Okay, fine. So there he is, driving by himself up Proctor Valley Road as it's getting dark. And then, just to match his mood, the clouds roll in. And they start spitting rain. And it mixes with the dust from the road on his windshield, and he puts the wipers on and they smear it across the windshield, and he's thinking this is all just perfect. He turns on the lights and, oh, the headlights catch something white by the side of the road. An animal, or it's a girl. She's dressed all in a fancy white dress, and just then, the clouds start to get even thicker and the rain starts pouring down. So Jerry, he pulls over real quick and he hops out of the truck thinking, I'm gonna be super chivalrous and see if I can get that girl underneath of the cover of my coat out of the rain. And he runs over and he puts it up over her. He says, here, take this. And she looks up at him and she gives him the most beautiful smile. She said, oh, thank you so much for stopping. Is there any way you could give me a ride? Oh, sure. He opens the passenger side door of his truck and he helps her in. He runs around to the other side, hops in the driver's seat thinking, this night has really turned around for me. and he gets in and he starts off down the road and he kind of chances a glance at the girl who's sitting in the white dress next to him. He notices that she's got one single little white rose pinned to her dress. And he says, I'm happy to give you a ride, but where are you going? And she says, I'm going to the Chula Vista High School prom. You're kidding. That is where I'm going. I'll be able to give you a ride there. But what are you doing out here all by yourself out on I didn't see a car or anything. And she says, my date called and canceled on me at the last minute. So I just got so mad. I got in my car and I started driving down here and it broke down and I was so angry. I got out and decided I would just walk. My name's Rose, by the way. Oh, Rose. Like your little white rose there. Yeah, well, when you get yourself a corsage, you can make it your own name. He giggled a little bit at her joke and he looked over at her and he found himself telling her all about Jackie Wilkie and how he had rented the tux and saved for the truck, and here she was, just going as friends. And she said, oh, well, if you're not going as her date, maybe when we get to the prom, we can dance some dances together.
Yeah.
And he looks over at her and she smiles at him again, and that is a movie star smile. And his heart just about stops. And he said, yeah, that'd be great. You're Rose, I'm Jerry. Great conversation, Jerry. And she just laughs and she says, yeah, thank you so much for stopping. I don't know what I would have done if you hadn't given me a ride. And he goes, well, I should really be thanking you. I mean, I was driving along here and, well, I'm sure you've heard all the stories about Proctor Valley and Proctor Valley Road, and, well, with the rain coming up and it getting so dark and driving along all by myself, my brain was starting to play tricks on me. You know what I mean? I started to get really creeped out. I mean, it's really dangerous out here. You shouldn't have been out here all by yourself either. It wasn't giving you the creeps. I mean, something really awful could have happened to you. And she said, oh yeah. Rose's voice started to quaver. Yeah, I know what you mean. I used to think the same thing. When I was alive. What? He turns around and he looks and she is gone. She's disappeared from the passenger seat. There's nothing there except his soaking wet coat with just a single white rose laying on top of it. Thank you. So that story, The Lady in White, we sometimes hear it as La Llorona, and she's vengeful, right? She's out for children. They use that one to scare the little kids. Or sometimes the Lady in White is a little bit older, and she's really harmful, and sometimes she's a little bit younger, but she's out for revenge. Jerry, in this story, he found out that Rose, she had been on her way to the prom when she was killed in a car accident in the rain. And her spirit is still trying to get to the prom. And I like that story. That's just that little bit bittersweet, and I'm so grateful to David for collecting it. Thank you.